Hello everybody and welcome back to Forgotten City. This is going to be our final video on it and we'll be exploring the final ending, the canon ending. It takes a lot longer to do than the others. We've got quite a few things which we need to get, as the other videos explained. This is a continuation from our two streams.
Salve, friend. Mind telling me who you are and what you're doing with that bow on your back?
Right, here we go. I'm smiling and I need you to take care of some things urgently.
Oh, sounds serious. I'm listening.
So we've got all these for him to do. Lulia's dying, but Lucretia can't help her with it. The Sylphium, take some of it and go quickly.
Yulia? Oh no. Alright, I can do that.
Rufius has been threatening Virgil, but if you give him some of this willow bark, it will treat his rheumatism and he'll settle down.
Poor Virgil. Poor Rufius too, I guess. Alright, got it.
I need you to stop Fabia entering the empty shrine and tell the new arrival he'll find what he's looking for in there.
Alright, let me see. Stop Fabia going in, but send the new arrival to the empty shrine. Understood.
That's it, now go as fast as
I'll
you
go,
can.
but once I'm done, I'll need you to tell me how you know all of this.
I'll do that, no problem. There's a few things I need to do. Right.
Oh, you're here. I'm so glad you decided to visit. I'm Aurelia, and I hope I'm not being too forward, but the moment I laid eyes on you, I was intrigued. There's a light in your eyes I've never seen before, a certain learning and sophistication.
Not interested. Sorry.
Oh, I see. You prefer the company of men. Maybe you should go and make friends with Virgil instead.
Pursue the stone.
I take back what I
Always
said.
returns.
Suddenly, I don't find you so intriguing anymore. Let's just forget that ever happened, so we can at least do business. So, what brings you to my tavern?
Okay, so whatever you do, she's not really happy. Okay, we need to get the other tablet as well. So what we're gonna do is, heard any interesting gossip?
Certainly, for 10 denarii.
He's 10 denarii.
Have you met Livia? She used to do my hair, until one day she just snapped. This place has that effect on people. Now, she just stands around, caked in filth, muttering nonsense to herself. It's a real shame. Now I have to do my own hair.
Not nice, is she? Let's talk about something
Whatever
else.
you like.
What's your story?
Ugh, let it go. Nothing's going to happen between us.
Okay. What do you think about the golden rule?
I just try not to think about it. Drink helps with that. As the saying goes, to drink is human, so we drink.
Do you know a way out of here?
You know, normally, I'd expect you to buy me a drink before asking if I want to get out of here.
That's cute, but seriously, do you know a way out?
Straight to business, huh? I can work with that. As a matter of fact, I do know a way out. I'm happy to tell you all about it, but this is valuable information we're talking about, and I don't just give it out like some cheap oracle. So, how badly do you want it? Is it worth, say, 1,000 denarii to you?
If you have a way out, why haven't you used it yourself?
Simple. It's a one-way trip, and I'm not ready to go just yet. I like my life here. One day, maybe, but not now.
Not interested. I know it's a scam.
Ha! It's hardly my fault if people misunderstand the terms of a deal. I mean, it does say, let the buyer beware, right outside my tavern.
I'm looking for Kabash. Have you seen him?
Not for a few weeks now. Last time I saw him, he was sitting at a table with Georgius, whispering about some job. I remember because they kept looking over their shoulders as if they didn't want anyone else to know. So, naturally, I hovered. The one word I kept hearing was vanishing, and then, the next day, Kabash just disappeared. Coincidence? I think not.
Okay,
All
let's go.
right, see ya.
Okay, so what we need to do, we've got different plaques. We've got the Mystery plaque, the Egyptian plaque. So there's this one, find the fourth plaque. This one, ask Georgius about the Egyptian one. The Greek plaque is also Georgius or Dully. And there's the Roman one. We're going to be doing this one first. Georgius is up there, isn't he? Okay, we'll speak to Georgius about this plaque. It's in here. There's a golden statue blocking that door. Hang on. It is.
Greetings and salutations. Greetings, I'm Georgius. It gladdens me to see another foreigner in our midst. We must stick together, you and I.
I know. You want to know where I'm from, but I really want to ask you some questions.
My friend, your words intrigue me more and more. But yes, very well. Ask me what you will.
We can ask all these, but we'll do this. I'm looking for Kabash, and I heard you were one of the last people to see him.
Ah, I knew this day would come. I do not wish to lie to you, my friend, but even discussing this matter is dangerous. Please, let us leave the live coals safely beneath the ash.
You can trust me. We foreigners have to stick together, remember?
Very well, but the magistrate would not look kindly upon this, so please keep it to yourself. For several months now, I have been sneaking out at night to worship the gods of my ancestors in the temple of Demeter. Each day, I leave offerings of food in the hope that we may have a bountiful harvest, and yet the next day when I return, the food is missing.
How strange.
So I ask, who or what is devouring the food in this temple? Stranger still. Once I sat in front of my shop like the 100-eyed Argus until dawn to see if I could spot a thief going in. But do you know what I saw?
Animals?
Nothing. Nobody entered. And yet when I went to take a look, my offering was gone. It is bizarre, is it not? When I told my friend Kabash of this at the tavern, he offered to help investigate. He went in, and to my dismay, he was never seen again.
Where is the Temple of Demeter?
It is the only Greek temple in the city. Head towards the baths, and it is the last building on your right.
I'm off to the Temple of Demeter then.
I do not think you should pursue this, my friend. It would break my heart to be responsible for 2 people disappearing. But you do not strike me as a kind of person to be deterred by such warnings, so just be careful, I beg you.
No problem. Thank you, Georgius. So we've got to go to the temple. Yeah, I'm stuck behind a tree. Of course I am. Oh, hang on, what's this? Get my bow out just in case. Get our bow out just in case we have to fight again. Well, that's a cool way to do markers. Butterflies. A lyre. Okay, oh, this is all Greek. Greek statues. Oh.
Ah, a visitor. Welcome, welcome. May I ask your name?
I'm smiling.
It's a sincere pleasure to meet you. Tell me, what brings you all the way down here?
And this place by accident. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for a plaque that was removed from the obelisk.
Ah, yes, that cursed thing. I know exactly where it is. I will tell you everything I know, but first, a request. I have been living down here alone for many years, with nobody to talk to but myself. The one thing I long for above all else before I die is a good philosophical argument with somebody astute. I'm hoping that person is you. Let us find out with this simple question. Have you deduced the name of the god responsible for the Golden Rule?
Pluto, god of the underworld.
Excellent. I see you are indeed quite astute. Very few come to that realization before their time in the sun is over. Now, will you join me in a friendly Socratic dialogue?
If I have to.
Good enough for me. Now, let me begin with a question. Would you say you know the difference between right and wrong?
Yes.
And to what extent? In every situation?
In most situations.
So, you're not entirely confident. That is quite sensible. Indeed, I'm reminded of something Socrates once said. To paraphrase, better to know that you know nothing than to know nothing and think that you know. It is because knowledgeable people have learned enough to know they know very little, in the broader scheme of things. You see, out there in the world, being uncertain about right and wrong was acceptable, because our mistakes rarely had consequences. So we would tell lies and bend rules and turn a blind eye and rationalize, and yet still find a way to think of ourselves as good people. But under the Golden Rule, morality matters. The slightest wrongdoing could result in a mass execution. So to navigate this maze, we would have to be certain about the difference between right and wrong. Wouldn't you agree?
I suppose so.
So let me ask you this. Is there one system of morality which is always perfectly correct, which you could follow in every situation and always do the right thing?
No, I don't think so.
Are you sure? Or is it possible that humans simply haven't figured out the right system yet?
I suppose we just haven't figured it out yet.
After hundreds of years, and as many great thinkers dedicating their lives to these questions, what hope do we have if our best and brightest haven't been able to answer them?
What's your point?
My point is this. I don't think anyone alive truly knows any hard and fast rules about right and wrong.
I'm not sure about that. What about do not kill?
Surely you would agree there are circumstances where an exception may be made, such as where it is necessary for self-defense or to prevent a greater evil. For any rule, you can imagine there are countless situations in which that rule may be suspended, and those situations are impossible to codify. If there is one thing I have observed about rules, It is that virtuous people do not need them, and evil people will always find a way around them. And so we must accept our limitations, and the sad truth that no human society will ever achieve the utopia for which it strives. In mathematics, we would call it an asymptote, a line that can be approached but never reached. Because the only way to create a utopia is with the ever-present threat of force, such as the Golden Rule. This and no other is the root from which a tyrant springs when he first appears as a protector. And life under tyranny is no utopia at all.
Sure, why not?
I admit, I am talking a lot. Forgive me. I'm just excited to have company. In any case, thank you for humoring an old man. I would be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, first of all, where can I find Kabash?
I will tell you, but you may find him hostile. To prepare for your encounter, there are certain things you must know. Very few know this, but before the Romans came to this city, it was once entirely Greek. The architecture, the temples, and the people. When the Romans came, in typical fashion, they claimed it as their own, built over everything that could be built over, and renamed the things that could not. Thus, the shrine of Persephone became the shrine of Proserpina. And when they found an obelisk bearing the name Hades, they tore it off and replaced it with Pluto instead. And the city's dwindling Greek residents, witnessing this compulsive Roman conquest, decided to preserve what they could of their heritage. They gathered their art and valuables, secreted them away through the Temple of Demeter, and hid them here, out of reach of the Romans.
So what does this have to do with Kabash?
I'm getting to that. You see, it was among these old Greek relics that I found the thing you seek. An even older plaque bearing an Egyptian inscription.
How did it get here?
We had no idea until years later, when the first of my friends began to die. As a result of their deaths, we began to dig catacombs branching off from this cavern to lay them to rest. We extended the tunnel so far that we accidentally discovered another, an even older tunnel, which somebody had gone to great lengths to keep hidden. Suddenly it made sense why there was an out-of-place Egyptian plaque among our people's possessions. You see, we proud Greeks had thought the Romans beasts for stealing and corrupting our heritage. But it turns out this game has been going on much longer than any of us imagined. I think it is best you head through the catacombs and follow Kabash's trail.
What's in there?
There are certain things you must see for yourself. Take this key. You'll need it to open the gate.
Oh, thank you. What's your story?
You mean, how did I end up living alone in this cave with nothing but these relics of the past for company? It's a long story.
I'm listening.
I was a quarrelsome young man. At 19, I left Corinth for Rome to study rhetoric at one of her finest academies, so I could argue more forcefully. Back then, I used to enjoy verbally sparring with everyone I could, and I was good. One night, I found myself in a tavern in an argument with a drunken mercenary. It became heated. He drew a gladius, and I won the argument, but lost my life. I woke up on the banks of the Styx at a campfire opposite Karen. Of course, I tried to persuade her to let me return, but even with all my skill, I failed. I settled in, made friends, and learned what I could, quickly realizing our little community faced certain death under the Golden Rule. So I began looking for a place to hide underground. Fortunately, I found this place waiting for me. You see, I was not the first to take refuge here. I returned to my friends above, persuaded them to join me, and 12 of us descended for the last time to live out our days hidden from Hades' tyranny.
Hades. You mean Pluto?
They are one and the same. The Romans call him Pluto, but long before that, my people called him Hades.
Why can't you return to the surface?
My generation was wiped out, turned to gold, many years ago. My friends and I were able to avoid the same fate by hiding down here. I think it's safest to assume that if I was to return, Hades would realize that his furies hadn't finished the job, and he'd send them after me again.
Why can't you tell me your name?
I fear that if you were to utter my name in the city, even by mistake, that Hades would hear you and know I am still alive.
Where is everyone else?
I'm afraid I am the only one left. There were 12 of us in the beginning, but one by one, my friends passed away. Some from malnutrition, others from madness and despair. It has been lonely. Before my unexpected visit from Kabash some weeks ago, I'd not seen another person in many, many years.
How have you survived down here?
Living in darkness is not without its challenges. The first challenge is diet. Fortunately, I found that eating fresh fish provides most of the nutrients I need. And sometimes, when there are Greek people living up above, I surface at night and salvage the offerings they've left in the temple of Demeter. The greater challenge is the isolation, so I like to imagine arguments, where I argue both sides. But, like so many things in life, arguments are better with a partner.
Let's talk about something else.
As you wish.
Do you know a way out of here?
Ha! If I did, would I be living like this?
True. What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Did we not discuss it at length already? Oh, I see. You're toying with me. Ha!
I'll be going now.
I enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?
Alright, I will. The plaque here. Okay, so we gotta go into the catacombs. He's that way, okay. It's too dark there. Put my torch out just in case it gets too dark. Okay. Where are you, Kabash? That's locked. That's one, isn't it? No. Have a look. Where the heck are we? That's leading me that way, but... Oh, zombie! Egyptian stuff. There's another zombie. Zombie! There's a zombie! Oh crap. Loads of them. There's one zombie. These zombies are angrier than the others. Oh crap! Get off me, you Zalak! Oh my god. None of these are moving. It's alright, here he is.
Stop! Do not come any closer. Who are you?
I'm smiling. Who are you?
I am Kabash. And let me guess. Another Greco-Roman come to loot and plunder the resting place of my ancestors,
I'm just looking for an Egypt.
To what end?
I want to return it to the obelisk.
That is welcome news. You really are not Greco-Roman, are you? I was planning to return it myself, but for now, I must remain. Here, take it, and restore the honor of Osiris.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. Thanks.
Now, as for the other plaque.
The fourth plaque, you know about that?
Indeed, I have it right here. I stumbled across a collection of dusty curiosities while searching for a place to hide from the hungry children of Amit, and there it was.
May I have it?
You may not. In fact, I am about to destroy it.
Why?
Because it speaks a treacherous, blasphemous lie.
How so?
I will tell you, but first, do you know what this place is? Indeed, and I see you know our history. This is the Duat. See what has become of it. I have been down here for weeks, piecing together its story. And here is what I have learned. As Egypt declined and the Greeks had their turn to flourish, their souls came here in great numbers. But instead of adopting our ways, they copied and corrupted them. When they found the obelisk bearing the name Osiris, the true god of the underworld, they desecrated it, removing his name and replacing it with Hades. Even the ferryman of the dead, known to my people long before as Kerti, they renamed to Keron. As if that desecration was not enough, they built over this place, using it as the foundation for their own underworld, so that ours was forgotten. My only solace is that the Greeks then suffered the same fate when the Romans rose to power, renaming Hades to Pluto, and the cycle began anew.
I can see why you'd be unhappy with the Greeks and Romans.
I am glad to hear it. Which brings me to this other, fourth plaque. It is inscribed with a script I do not recognize, but it is ancient, almost as if it is older than the plaque bearing Osiris's name. But if that is so, it would imply the gods of Egypt are mere imitations too, copied and corrupted from an ancient people who prospered even before us, and that my people did to them what the Greeks and Romans did to us. But this, I cannot accept. I sense a deception. Perhaps it is the work of Set, the usurper, seeking to undermine Osiris once more.
If you give it to me, I'll destroy it for you.
You must think me a fool. This work of sacrilege must be destroyed, thrown into the black abyss below in Osiris's name.
Stop. I need that.
You are too late. It is done.
I wish you hadn't done that.
It could not have gone any other way. It was Osiris's will. Now, the thing of evil you sought is gone. Why are you still here?
What's your story?
I am from Rakotis, which you may know as Alexandria, the name of the city the Greeks built over it. I was a fisherman, like my father before me. Since the Romans had taken over from the Greeks, I took the opportunity to learn Latin and eventually traveled to Rome. When the fires broke out last year, I tried to help. I gathered terrified locals into my boat and led many of them to safety farther along the Tiber. On my 7th trip, a passenger demanded I wait for his brother. But we were full to almost sinking, and smoke was all around us. I told him his brother would have to save himself, and he tried to bribe me by placing a coin into my hand. When I refused, he drew a dagger and thrust it between my ribs. I awoke on the banks of the river to a stranger wearing a ram headdress. He said his name was Kirti, and at the time, I simply thought him odd. It did not dawn on me until much later that he was the Kirti, the ram-headed ferryman described in the Book of the Dead.
Do you know a way out of here?
This is where I belong, as caretaker of the memories of my people. If our ways are to be remembered, it falls to me.
What do you think about the golden rule?
I think if someone is to break the golden rule, it will not be me, for I try to live as I always have by the command of the goddess Ma'at. Do to the doer to make him do. As for the punishment that will come from it, I finally understand why it has long been said among my people that gold is the skin of the gods.
What do you think is down there?
I do not know. What could possibly lie beneath the underworld? Perhaps it is infinite darkness. Perhaps it is the lair of Amit, the devourer of souls. All I know is, it would be unwise to venture down there.
That just makes me want to go down there even more.
Is everyone so contrary where you are from? Do not even consider it.
I'll be going now.
Good. Be gone from this place. Wait. You are planning to go down there. I see it in your eyes.
Definitely.
You would plunge into the depths of the Duat with no way back up. Madness.
I'll find a way back up.
We shall see.
Bye bye. Thank you. She pointing at? The way out up there. Not gonna stand on that. Spikes there. Go that way? Oh, I got it now. The way around it. Okay, let's choose this. Spikes. There's another one of them things there.
When I told you that you would not find a way back up, that was not a prediction. That
What's he gonna do?
was a promise.
Oh, okay,
You
he's gonna kill
will
me.
die here.
There's no need for this to end in violence.
I disagree. I warned you against coming down here, against perpetuating this sacrilege, but you persisted. You have undermined and dishonored the true god of the underworld. How did you think this would end, if not with bloodshed?
Just hear me out.
Very well, I will listen. But if I sense deception, or if you further insult my gods, I will carry out my threat. So tell me, why should I let you live after you salvaged this instrument of blasphemy?
There's no shame in building on the works of people who came before you.
That may be true of many things, but this is different. If our gods were copied and corrupted from an older civilization, does that not mean they are false? Does that not mean our prayers to our gods all fell on deaf ears because we were not even addressing them by their true names?
If gods exist, isn't it possible they each have more than one true name?
Now that I think about it, my people would sometimes call Osiris the god of many names. Perhaps it is so. But the underworld of my people is so different to this one, and so unlike the way it was described by our priests. Many of my ancestors endured great hardship to live good lives so that we may descend to the Duat in death and be judged accordingly. We prepare to have our hearts weighed on Anubis' scales and to swear ourselves innocent of sin before the 42 assessors of Ma'at. And yet, I arrive here to find the Book of the Dead contained only a seed of truth. And now I ask myself, did our priests steal and embellish the stories of an older people and feed us lies all our lives simply to trick us into obedience?
Isn't being a good person a worthwhile pursuit in and of itself?
I am not sure I follow. Speak plainly.
Even if your beliefs about the afterlife weren't quite accurate, isn't the important thing they motivated you to live good lives?
Perhaps there is some truth in that. What is your point?
Are you going to abandon a lifetime of good character now that it matters most just because you found out you were misled?
You are Persuasive. Very well. I will let you live, and you may do what you will with that plaque. I will remain here for a while, and attempt to learn what I can about the foundations of my people's beliefs. Go.
Okay, so that's another one we've done. We've got 2 more to collect. We're going to get the Roman one next. Oh, we can go this way now, can't we? It's that way.
Ah, you've returned. Good to see you again, friend. Did you find what you need?
He didn't
I
say much.
enjoyed our chat, but please, keep my presence here a secret, yes?